Man, I tell you, there's a video Tucker put out, and it just caught my attention, folks. It's why is this happening? Why is this happening is the name of it. And it just came out today. As you can see, it's headed towards 200,000 views. Okay. As I looked at the comment section of the video, I noticed there was a lot of people saying stuff like, man, I love this. I love what Tucker's talking about. This is the most spot-on video I've ever heard from Tucker. This is an epic rant from Tucker. This is the type of Tucker we need more of. Tucker, love Tucker. This is great. There was even one black guy who said he was black. I'm a black 35-year-old man, and I love Tucker Carlson. What he's saying right here is what my life is, and I moved to this town and something else. And basically, he loves Tucker and want to name his kids after Tucker. Because this rant was so spot on from Tucker. The reason why they liked it because Tucker was talking about real life shit. Tucker was talking about real life things. You know, things I talk about every day on this show. He was talking about homelessness, housing insecurity. Now, he didn't talk about it long enough, of course. He mentioned it. He mentioned tent cities. He blamed it all on people with drug problems, drug addictions. He blamed none of it on the gig economy, none of it on the housing crash, none of it on, shops shutting down, none of it on that stuff, but at least he mentioned it. He said, why did this happen? Why are there tent cities? Why are there people homeless? Just the sheer fact that Tucker got off the bigoted dog whistle brigade for 2 seconds to talk about something that impacts regular people made them just love Tucker and just shout praises for Tucker. Oh, God. He mentioned home insecurity. Tucker, for the first time I've ever heard him, he mentioned poverty. He mentioned people struggling to pay bills, struggling to put food on the table. For 2 seconds, the guy brought it up, something we talk about on this show. It's not epic for me to mention poverty. No, it's not something random. But when you are a Republican and all you get is a steady dose of bad immigrants, Chicago, blacks in Chicago, political correctness, the alt-woke. Well, that's all they talk about ever. Oh, and go Brandon or some shit. Well, when you hear Tucker Carlson mention the poverty, it's like, wow, how refreshing. It's like your ass is dying of thirst and someone just gave you a tall glass of lemonade. But it was all shitted on eventually because Tucker went right back to immigration. Started talking about population control. Started talking about there's too many people. And then slowly but surely, the floodgates of all the bigotry started opening up all over again. He blamed everything on the sheer number of immigrants that come to this country. He started blaming it all on the influx of people from, El Salvador. All the aforementioned problems. But it was like masterful the way, in the beginning it wasn't that way, but he took all of the important shit he listed and put it all under the umbrella of, it's all due to immigration. He even said some supportive things about black folks. He was talking about black people being individuals, that there's no black community. No, he said there's no black community. It's like 40 million black people in America. They don't know each other. They're not a community. I always find it ironic that people from the dominant society, they throw out these interpretations like black people are artificially grouped together when America's built on grouping black people together. Like that's an American thing that was done by your grandfather, Tucker. Don't you own Swansons? Rich white people like your family, the privilege that you come from, that's the way they wanted the country to be. White people over here, black people over there. America's run that way for hundreds of years. So anyway, Tucker's saying these things, and I guess if you are, once again, if you're someone who watches conservative content and you consume their nonsense on a daily basis, I guess it's refreshing until, but then it got back to something you're very much comfortable with, which is Tucker pitting everyone against everyone and making it about the woke left and making it about violence in Chicago, making it about the immigrants. And at the end of the day, it always gets back there. It always gets back to old, reliable Tucker. Like, I understand the lure of Tucker, man. I get it. You know, I understand that's why Donald Trump used to watch Tucker every day. Big time Tucker fan, because that was a great inspiration for him to craft his messages. He understood that the Southern strategy always worked. And to use these tropes and to use this bigotry bullshit. And the Democrats are really easy to go after because they're so horrible. It's like easy. It's a layup. All it takes is discipline and staying on your message. But Tucker misses the point. He misses the boat. And that boat is that at the end of the day, it's about those that have and those that have not. Those that have and those that have not. It's about the working and the hurting class. It's about the barely middle class. Right? And if he gets really close to it. And this is what excites people. And this is why they like Tucker, because he'll get almost really close to it. He'll be calling out the elitism. He'll be calling out the big corporations. He'll be calling out big tech, for instance. He'll be calling out the condescending nature of the liberals, their elitist nonsense, their BS. It'll be right at the doorstep of uniting us around a populist message of it's us against the big money interests, and then he'll back away. It's like he realizes that is him. Hey, all of a sudden he catches himself. Just before he walks through that door of truly speaking for working people, and he remembers he cannot speak for working people. It's like all of a sudden he comes to his senses and realizes that's not his interest, that he does work for Fox News. And then he goes right back to the same old bullshit, the same old, it's the Mexicans' fault. The same old, what about Chicago? The same old shit. As if people on Twitter are why we have a problem. Hey guys, Johnsons. Hey, look, I don't like that cancel shit when we just throw everyone away for stupid shit, okay? Now, calling the cops on black kids, calling the cops on black people trying to get them killed by cops, I'll cancel your ass for that. Well, I would fire you, but I don't employ you. So I got a problem with that shit. Okay? I got a problem with people being racist in public in front of people with cameras. What kind of a numbskull are you? I don't lose sleep over people who lose their jobs over that shit. But it's an obvious exaggeration to pretend like our biggest problem is people on Twitter retweeting tweets or memes or people not liking Patton Oswalt because of his Dave Chappelle picture. Yeah, I'll call it out. I cover pop culture. So I'll call it out and say, this is corny shit. Patton Oswalt can put a picture of his friend up anywhere he wants. It's not a reason to cancel a guy. But the way Tucker exaggerates the shit, as if it's the downfall when we all know, well, it would be so much more helpful if his view is new. The shit, the realness behind the bullshit that Tucker's blaming. Like, the problem, he got the problem right, but he's got the cause wrong. And that shit's intentional. You know, he'll talk about homelessness. He won't talk about mass incarceration. He won't talk about the things that lead to homelessness. He'll talk about drug use, but he won't talk about the depression. What causes drug use? Not everyone's 20 years old and wants to just try every drug. We got over-medicated people in the country working twice as hard for a lot less money. But Tucker won't touch that shit. He'll talk about safety and the need for safety and the need to not to, in his opinion, defund the police, which is bullshit. But he won't talk about the lack of resources in these communities that goes back 100 years. He won't talk about redlining. He won't talk about the things that lead us to this point when you get a community that's devoid of opportunity, with a shit school system that's over-policed. He won't talk about it because it's against his best interests. So he points at the problem, calls out the problem, but does not call out the cause of the problem. Does not, everything surface. So, I don't know, it's just very, it's frustrating to happen upon a video where all the talking points that we would use, that I would use, for instance, that I would use, because I don't know who we is. This ain't France. All the talking points of homelessness, poverty, joblessness, all this shit I would, that I address often on this show, but none of the reasons be discussed, and the only solution is deportation. If you're a black person and you're buying that, I would hope no one would buy it because it's in books, it's in data. But folks, they were squeezing this out before massive immigration. Once America decided to put you on the bottom, that's where they decided to put you. It doesn't matter who shows up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the fight. But Tucker's not interested in that at all. And when I see people who say, oh, I like Tucker, it's like, do you like Tucker? I mean, I understand you don't like the Democrats. You don't like liberal nonsense, liberal lies. I get that. Do you like Republican ones? Do you like conservative ones? Because I fail to see the goodness in any of that shit. If a person's afraid or if they're unwilling to address what's causing our problems, why praise them? Why give them that attention? Okay.